I'm gonna show you guys how I make one of our cable 6.0 hook rigs that goes in our 6-inch tuna bullets. First, we get about a 5-inch piece of 400-pound cable. We're gonna get one of our stainless 6.0 hooks, and we got 2 crimps on there. Slide the crimp on the cable, and I like to put the cable through the backwards eye of the hook and then just pull. I like to have a really tight loop on here when I crimp it so that it doesn't really slide around, especially even before the heat shrink's on there. So we're gonna crimp a real tight loop here. Something like that on there so that this thing really is pretty stiff on there. You can kind of turn around, but you leave it straight. And then we're gonna put some heat shrink over that in a minute. Before, we're gonna put another piece of cable on there, and we're gonna make our loop parallel with the eye of the hook so that it looks like the eye and then the eye in here, not twisted sideways so the leader comes out of the lure correctly on there. So we're gonna make sure that that loop isn't too small because we want our chafe tubing to fit through it, or too big. Right there is about perfect, and like I said, those 2 eyes and that loop are parallel to each other. Now we get a tiny piece of heat shrink like this one here. I'm gonna slide it over there and then heat it on with a torch. You could use a heat gun for this, but I like speed, so I'm gonna go with a torch here. We're gonna make sure that this stuff's tightened all the way down on there, and I'll even like to burn the ends a little bit so that, as you can see, there's like a little glue or resin inside of there. It burns, melts it, and there's absolutely fully sealed. And since it's got a tight loop on there, there's not really any room for it to mess around. Just let it dry off like that, and that'll be ready to attach a leader in about a minute.